What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Straight Savage podcast. And on today's episode, I got a very great guest who's actually introduced through another friend of mine whose name is actually Chris also, but you guys probably know him on my channel as North Carolina Window Clean, and also his new name, Cerberus 7, man. We got a great guest from Grindhouse Toys, and the line is World War Hell. All right, so this is something different. I didn't really know too much about this line. My buddy Chris introduced me to it. I thought it was great. Once I seen it, me particularly, I'm not too much into 4-inch, but I know a lot of my GI Joe guys are into all different scales. It's not necessarily I don't like it. I just have a lot of shit. Okay, so but sometimes you gotta pick and choose your battles here. But this is a great line. This is a great Kickstarter. It seems like they've already achieved their goal, which already lets you know that plenty of people are getting behind this product. They got a few more steps to go as far as some tier unlocks, but I'm not gonna hold back anymore and introduce my guest for today, my man Chris from Grindhouse Toys and the World War Hell line. How you doing, brother?
I am great. How are you doing today?
I am doing awesome, man. So I just want to introduce my audience to you. And like I said, for the first time, it's like somebody I'm also getting to meet as well. And just kind of tell your background before we get into the line that we're pushing on the Kickstarter. But just tell me about yourself.
Okay, yeah. So I've been working in toys for about three and a half years, I believe. Now, I work on Operation Monster Force for Bill Murphy and Big Bad Workshop. I do all the paint masters for what has all come out and like up to series 4 right now, I believe. And I do the art direction for the line as well. I've worked on Naughty or Nice collection. I've worked with Skeletron. I've worked with just multiple toy lines doing mostly paint masters, but also some art direction and design here and there. And then I wanted to branch off into my own. And that's kind of where World War Hell came from, and wanting to just really make my own toy line.
Nice, man. So that's why I'm attracted to this line, because you worked on a lot of stuff that I like. Especially I picked up that what's it, the mall Santa.
Oh yeah, I painted that one too.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That was the one for me right there. I was like, because I had a couple of choices the previous year, and I don't know what happened, but I ended up not getting them. But I was like, damn it, this year I'm gonna get one of them Santas, and it has to be. I want to call him Bad Santa. That's what it reminds me of, man. So that's dope. So that is what's going on with. So you've worked on Monster Force.
Yes.
Nice. So all the waves that are coming out, you've had your hands in there as well.
Yeah. Like I jumped on series 1 originally before it had come out or anything like that, and so I redid all the colors on them. I designed a weapon for Declan, like his rifle. I don't know if you have Declan, but
yes, I do.
his rifle.
Helsing.
What was that?
Van Helsing.
Yep.
Declan
Van Helsing. So he has that rifle also with the crossbow. So I came in. I'm like, he needs a rifle too. So I designed it and put the stake on the end for the bayonet, and doing the colors on those guys too. Like I wanted to give them that like camo vest and have it like, and same with like the Delta Reds. Like I designed the skull that goes over their mask that like painted on red. skull on there, and just fun stuff. I've been really fortunate to be able to work with all these awesome, talented people working on that toy line, and it's been a lot of fun.
What attracted you into working in the field of toys? Is this something you pursued your whole life, or is just you kind of fell into it?
Not. I didn't pursue it. I should have. I might have been able to get in there a little earlier, maybe. But I've always been into toys. I'm a big collector myself, and I collect a lot of different things. But I got back into customizing probably like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and like the Marauder figures, and even once Classified came out, I started really customizing those. And my friend Ed Hellman recommended me to Bill Murphy to work on Monster Force because he needed somebody to do paint masters, and then just took off. And I've painted so many figures for him and worked on so many different projects, and then got to end up releasing 2 of my own figures, like in collaboration with Bill, with my Necromancer and my Dread Trooper. So it's been really cool.
Man, that is awesome. That's almost like a dream come true, basically. So damn, you must be that good where you just started customizing, and somebody was like, "Hey, look, I need to turn this man on to some corporation or some corporate type ordeal, man," which is awesome, man. I love Monster Force. I didn't pick up too much of Series 1. I had a few of them, like the Red Trooper with the red skull. I had that one, but there's so many different iterations of that. I just end up picking one later on down the line. I believe it's Van Helsing. It's like he's going to be combined with that. Well, his head will come in a package with one of those. I think BBTS exclusive.
Yeah, they have the show exclusive one where he has the like unscarred head, but then they also have the Big Bad exclusive where he's in the blue. With like the face paint and stuff like that too. So multiple options there.
Nice, man. But yeah, that explains it all, man. So I'm already in good company already, man. So we're gonna get into the line that you are pushing here, the World War Hell. So how did you come about World War Hell and just the whole thought process? Like it's World War II, but with a horror twist. Which World War? I'm a big World War wars buff anyway, man. I just watched Saving Private Ryan the other day. I watched it 1,000 times coming up, but it was my time to watch it. It had been a while, man. But I just love stuff like that. And World War II is a very interesting war. I mean, World War I kind of almost turned into a new modern motorized war. But then now with World War II, you're incorporating the planes, you're incorporating new technology, and Adolf Hitler's almost like Cobra Commander in a sense. He's got these wild things going on, like these different experiments that he's trying out, man. So just one of my favorite wars. But what made you want to do that?
Yeah, it's saying like World War II, I thought is something raw about it, and it's not like a modern war. It's not like what's happening right now. You don't have computers, everything. Even though there are planes, they're very mechanical and basic, and there's a real skill level to what these men and women have to go through to fight this war. And so I kind of wanted to incorporate some of that because I love Saving Private Ryan. I love Band of Brothers, Pacific, all those. Fury is amazing. Any of these, World War II movies are so good, but I was like, well, let's mix that. And similar to like what Overlord did. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like a zombie World War II movie. I want to mix those kind of ideas because when you're making toys also, you have to make sure that you can utilize parts reuse. And, like somebody like a Hasbro or these bigger companies, they can get away with making a whole bunch of different parts because they have the capital or the money for all that stuff. But like when you're just starting off, you got to try to use as much reuse as possible. And so I was like, like demonic kind of skeletons or zombies or any of that stuff would work really well, where you could use still that same soldier body and do some new parts, of course, but like not like a whole new figure right away. So I was able to kind of go that way, and then it just started kind of writing itself, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, man. It like I said, it looks great. It's pretty much almost to people who are out there will be listening to this. It's pretty much almost like a miniature Monster Force with a different little twist on it because it's theme eccentric as far as the World War II. But when I say that, I'm just talking about the quality, the paint, the sculpts, loaded with different accessories from what I've seen, and I'll pull up the Kickstarter page here in a little bit, but we'll get into that. But just off my experience, and like I said, I seen them down at Joe Fest, man, and they looked awesome. So
Thank
pretty
you.
much with your Kickstarter, you've got to the point where you need to be, but there's a few unlocks.
Yes. Um, yeah, we funded at Joe Fest, which was awesome. It was actually right as my panel was starting. So that was a really cool
Nice.
experience to have it, kind of fund right then and around with all the, people who believe in the line. And so that was a fun experience. But yeah, we have some unlocked tiers that we're working on right now. We are, I think, only 3,000 away from Colonel Malum, who's our big bad guy. And so once we unlock him, which I know we will, because we have, I think, I don't know how many hours we have left. 50 something. We have till Sunday night, so I got to check the numbers. But we'll get to him. And then there's the Horde Trooper, which is like, because those are whole new bodies with Malum and the Horde Trooper. It's the German style uniform, updated and modified, of course, toy wise. And so those guys we're going for, and there might be a few surprises in there too if we do better in the next couple days too. So I have some others up my sleeve if we need be for some more figures to unlock. So
are you a GI Joe fan?
yeah. I've been since I as long as I kind of can remember. I've loved Joe and been into it since I was a little kid, but I love a lot of all of that stuff, and so that's something I kind of wanted to incorporate into World War Hell too. Is that whole story, like you said, like Cobra Commander, you got Cobra and Joe, going against each other, the specialized teams. I always thought that was pretty fun. And so, but to kind of take it to another level and have it a little more adult and gory and ridiculous, and have it in this different world, I think is just pretty fun. And, but yeah, I've always been, like I just opened this guy yesterday playing around with, the new
Nice. I heard those are
retro
good.
Viper. They are. I'm a sucker for all the classified, but I also do collect, 4-inch, 3 3/4. I've got some sideshow 12-inch Joes over there. So yeah, I'm definitely a GI Joe fan.
Yeah, I definitely dibble dabble in the different sizes. Now, even though I said I'm not a 4-inch, but I was into the GI Joe retro 4-inch.
Okay, yeah.
That was the Walmart line that really never got off.
Yep. There were some good ones in there too. They made that whole new Stalker and Grunt, which were fantastic.
Correct. And I end up buying a whole bunch of those in the 3 3/4. I collect them casually. I did pick up some 12-inch Joes at Joe Fest. I picked up 2.
Oh, cool.
I think from the 90s when they came out. Not the original bodies, but they're pretty cool figs, man. But it's all just based off that GI Joe just pretty much IP, man. Just that'll just expand your universe. As far as on your line, the World War Hell, is there a good side or bad side, or does it run traditionally like Army versus Axis powers?
So I have the Cerberus. Cerberus is our good guys. You got the Cerberus, in mythology and everything is the 3-headed dog that guards the gates of hell. So that's our good guy team. They're the ones trying to keep everything kind of at bay and stop hell from coming over. And so being a 3-headed dog, I thought that was perfect because it's land, air, sea. And so that's your different divisions of that. And so Cerberus is like the big organization, but then we have the Devil's Rejects, which are the special forces unit, like the small team that's always behind enemy lines, part of Cerberus. So that's your two kind of factions with good guys. And then your bad guys are the Revenant. And that is Colonel Malum, who we're about to unlock. And that's his undead army that has been possessed pretty much. He sold all the souls of all the Axis powers and everybody just gets possessed. Most of them explode, but he still has a full group of just nasty killers that's just trying to raise havoc and raise hell and do all kinds of terrible things.
that sounds fucking awesome, man. To be
Thanks.
I don't know if I got the names mixed up because I was looking through them yesterday, and I believe the Cerberus is the one that I wanted to get. Is that the one he kind of comes in a Buklova? He has the gas mask, the full arm. That's the one. I was, because I've never actually really done anything on Kickstarter. I was trying to figure out how do you do it? Because matter of fact, I'll tell you what, let's just go through the
Yeah,
list, the rundown here. I'll put on my present screen, and we'll go through your Kickstarter page, and we'll talk about each individual one.
sounds
Because
good.
it definitely has enough interesting background story. So share screen. All right. All right. So we got it up here. You can see everything pretty good.
Yep.
All right. So World War Hell. And we're gonna go down just a little. There we go. That's what I wanted to go to. Just kind of show. And also, I have the ticker going on the bottom. Is that ways people can get a hold of your company, the grindhousetoys.com?
Yeah, you can email me right through there, or even go through Instagram or Facebook, because there'll be links on the website too. And also, Grindhouse Toys has the link to the Kickstarter as well. So
Okay.
all of those options in there, so you can message me through any of those ways, and I'll definitely get back to you.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you pledged for 72,000. You're sitting at 94,000. That's 24,000 over. So that lets me know that you definitely have a good name in the game. People are believing in this project, and it looks great, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, even for like a 6-inch or 112 guys, like this is baby monster force right here. This is this is awesome. But and it's not like you're knocking on them. You've actually done the work for Monster Force. So
Yes,
awesome. Got
absolutely.
430 backers and 58 hours to go. So I think when I checked, it says 10-10. Yes. 10-10 people is the time this Kickstarter will end. There's a few cool unlocks that we're gonna go down through each character here, and we'll see. And a couple of them that's already up there that'll definitely be available. So Grindhouse Toys presents. Let's go to the first guy I seen here. So what? Let me actually. What was this? Is this like just a diorama piece that you guys set
Yeah.
up, or this or something going on with this?
Yeah, so I met Jimmy from HVX Customs at IshCon a couple months back, and he fell in love with the line. We talked and had a great time talking about stuff, because he's also not a 4-inch collector. He's not even really a military toy guy, but he just
Mhm.
really loved the line, and he made dioramas, and he has amazing dioramas. And so I was like, hey, do you want to make something I could take some pictures in, and kind of just for the Kickstarter? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'd love to. And he knocked this thing out in like a week. Like, he killed it.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. And that's what I had at Joe Fest. I had like the corpse sitting in it while it was rotating on the table, and it's just a really cool piece to show off kind of the world of what World War Hell should look like.
Nice, man. I thought it was something that y'all was selling, like a diorama piece. I'm like,
I would love to. We need a play
yeah,
set.
or a display piece or something,
Yeah.
man. So I didn't know that does look awesome, man. And the crazy part about it, when at the end I'll show my Joe Fest clip of when I was shooting at your table, and my other buddy Chris was talking to you. That's what you were talking about. Now that I was
Oh,
thinking about it, you guys were talking about that diorama piece.
oh, that's cool.
So okay, so corpse.
Yep.
So sitting at $38 here. Let me
Yep.
pull it down some more. So explain the what was going on behind this figure here.
Okay. Yeah. So this was, if you're gonna have one figure, like this was me, like, let's boil it down to, like, if I can only release one figure, which one is it? Which one could like go into other people's displays? What could work with other people's figures? If Grindhouse Toys made one toy, what would work with everything? And I felt, okay, that's my zombie skeleton figure. That's my undead. That's my figure that, you could have a horde of these attacking Duke or Snake Eyes, or any of those kind of characters. And so I wanted to make him the first one out the gate. And so the corpse, yes, he has a zombie head. He has a skeleton head. He's got zombie hands. He's got skeleton hands. He's got the chainsaw, the M1. The bayonet is removable, goes onto the M1 Garand. He's got 2 pistols, one that has the slide actually back like it's been fired. or is firing. The removable helmet, that bandolier comes off. The harness can come off if need be. So he's just loaded out. Oh, and he has, of course, the blood explosion neck with the blood ports coming out of his hands too. So, you could have his head exploding or something ridiculous happening in a with storytelling and world building.
Correct. Nice. And also too, what we were talking about right before we came on here is, I don't know if you guys can see, because when I'm scrolling down, you'll see this is actually the packaging that it's gonna come in. Now, when I show my video at the end, you'll kind of see like just the full effect of it, but it looks like Blockbuster Video VHS package holding, and which I thought was dope. I mean, that's great for display, and it's just something very nostalgic. Like as soon as you see it, like, wow, that brings me back.
That's what I wanted. I wanted something fun, and it just all kind of just came together, and it was just awesome to see everybody loving it.
All right, let me go down here. Yeah, it looks like one of those old horror, like, because it's always like that black with red lettering.
Yeah.
It seemed like all horror movies, like especially like from the 80s on VHS, had that type of font and that color, the black with the red, let you know like this is bad here.
This is bad, and you're like, oh, I want to rent it now.
Exactly.
It might be terrible, but I want it.
Hey, and that's what I was about to say. Like them movies, boy, they had some TV movies coming out in the 80s.
Yes.
Straight to VHS, and you would sit up and watch that shit too.
Yep. You could go back to the video store. You're stuck with whatever you picked usually.
All right. So who is this guy here, and what was his your inspiration behind him?
Okay, so this is Sergeant Graves. He is kind of our main hero. He's the leader of the Devil's Rejects. He's just this war-torn, pissed off, soldier. I've always been a big fan of Sergeant Rock and those kind of characters, like, and I wanted to kind of incorporate that into this. Growing up reading those comics that my dad had read when he was a kid was really cool. So I always loved the Sergeant chevrons on the helmet. Even though they were never really that big, that's still that more Joe Kubert style drawings from the Sergeant Rock. But Sergeant Graves is that hero. He has a cursed bastard sword from hell. It's Hellfire, and that sword actually grants him kind of a healing factor per se. It keeps him alive. I mean, he could still die because if he gets really messed up, but it keeps him alive until pretty much forever, because if he dies, he gets ripped down into hell and his soul's ripped apart. So it's kind of a cursed weapon, but it gives you something, but also takes a lot. And so he's kind of just weathered and worn. And the cool thing about it, though, is it's kind of like a heavy metal lightsaber is what I like to call it, because as soon as it's drenched in blood of the enemies, of his enemies, it ignites in fire. And it's not just regular fire, because I felt like that would be a terrible thing to fight zombies with, because then you're just fighting on fire zombies, and so it actually cuts super hot like a lightsaber because it's hellfire. And but the problem is it's fickle, and it's kind of a pain in the ass because it will light up, and sometimes it might just fizzle out because it's got a mind of its own, and sometimes it might stay lit the whole time. It doesn't really want you to survive. So it's kind of fun storytelling, I think, but also as a fun accessory for an action figure to have, a flaming sword on a kind of GI soldier, tough guy. So
yeah, man, that and like I was saying earlier, man, like you get so much and so many different things. Now I'm looking here at a sword with a flame effect. Looks like he gets maybe 2 9s or 245, somewhere in that range of sidearms. He gets the Thompson looking gun down at the bottom. Also a small knife. But then on the flip side, he gets tons of regular hands, and then he almost kind of looks like he has this like Day of the Dead, or maybe kind of like the Punisher when he had his face painted up. I forgot the name of that, but that is so Nemesis, many different things. Yes, going on.
Yeah. And so that was one thing I wanted, and I could have made this a figure that was like 2 figures. Like I could have done one without the paint and one with the paint, but I felt like to kind of let everybody choose what they want to do. And so like I don't know if you've ever taken apart any of the old GI Joes, with the screwdriver, with the screw in the back being that it's O-ring figure. That's how these will work. Also, like yes, the heads will pop off and the hands will pop out easy. But if you want to switch the arms out, you just pull them apart, which is kind of fun. And it's not a long process. It's just kind of fun to like really get in there with your figures. And it's going to be the same thing, but he will come with those extra arms. He actually has a neck also, like another neck, which has paint on it too with the head. And so what that is my apocalyptic war paint, I call it, because, you're at the end of the world. There's skeletons and monsters and demons and all that stuff walking around. So like, you're not going to just put regular camo paint on you. You'd kind of try to blend in and look like a skeleton. So that's what his, like kind of behind enemy lines war paint is.
And you said he's pretty much like the leader of their like wouldn't necessarily say a SEAL team because around that time, but just special forces, special guys do a special job.
Yep. And the kind of the tip of the spear, go and do the messed up work that you got the main ground forces of Cerberus, and then you want that kind of that special forces kind of unit to go in and really mess stuff up. That's the Devil's Rejects.
He was one of my ones that I was going to pick as well too. I wanted to make it say I might end up getting him though. I'm liking that right there because I'm just once like we started going through all of them, like damn, yeah, that is dope. I think I might end up getting him. He's his own individual character, and then like the Cerberus, they're more of an army builder, but I still would like to possibly get one of those too. But that's between my choices right there, man, which is like I said, this looks awesome. And this is the one that he's available, right?
Yes.
On that. Okay.
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
I'll once we get to the locked ones, I'll let you know. All these so far have been available. So,
and I like that you said they're made so you can switch them out. That's almost kind of like Valiverse. With GI Joes, I customize GI Joes as well, but almost kind of like breaking the rules when you go do that. But with Valiverse, you can pop them. They're made to be popped apart and put back together and things of that nature. You said that's what you did with that. You have to unscrew that back, which it's been a long time, man, since I've done a 3 3/4 customized. But when you said unscrew that back, I'm like, you know what? You did have to unscrew the back, and then the chest will come apart. Then that's where the O-ring and all that stuff will be at.
Yeah, it's kind of what taught us all to start customizing. So I wanted to kind of still incorporate that, being especially that it's in a VHS case, kind of hit all kinds of different nostalgic, vibes, with that.
So this is Sergeant Specter, which is dope as well. He looks good in real life. That's the one that stood out.
I got him right here
on your display.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I got him right here hanging out with me. So
nice.
He's chilling there. So I wanted something. I love clear plastic. I love the translucent, and he's also going to glow in the dark. Sort of like I don't know if anybody has like blue Hagnon or the blue like the ghostly effect Forgotten King figure they did at Joe Fest last year.
Yes.
Yeah, so in that same vein where it glows, it's going to be similar plastic as that, because we use the same factory as Monster Force and Four Horsemen, so they're going to be that same quality. But yeah, Sergeant Specter is a ghost. He's on the Devil's Rejects with Sergeant Graves, but he is like picture like Rambo, like this dude who's just unstoppable. But there's a catch. We have multiple like cursed weapons in this storyline, and so Graves' sword is one of those weapons, but also his Devil's Piano, which is that 30 cal chainsaw bayonet, machine gun combo. That's a machine gun that he actually haunts. So he is tied to that weapon, and so he doesn't always show up. You're sitting there in the middle of war or a battle, and Devil's Rejects or Cerberus or any of those guys might be getting their ass kicked, but they're toting around his weapons hoping he's just going to appear and to kind of save the day, and he doesn't always show up. But it's pretty fun. You just think of these poor guys like, come on, Specter, we need your help.
But the cool thing about him is I thought he was a bad guy, and that's always cool when you have a good guy who looks like a bad guy. basically. It changes up a little bit, and to kind of relate this to GI Joe Classified. That's why I like, which would suck. He was a Target exclusive, but the Tiger Force Wreckage, he looks like a bad guy.
He
You know
does.
what I'm saying? Like,
And
his
he's
face,
fantastic.
his eyes, he looks crazy, but he's a good guy. So it kind of switched it up a little bit.
I love that. I love that kind of thing. And that was one of the things when I was doing Monster Force 2. I remember sending pictures to Bill with like the nocturnal operations, Delta Reds, and he's like, these guys look like bad guys. He's like, but they're the good guys. This is awesome. And I'm like, yeah, it's just something fun about that. Like when you have that kind of dark, kind of blur the lines a little bit. It makes it a little more fun.
So this is the one we were talking about here, as far as the army builder. Let me pull that down. And this is Cerberus. I want to make sure I'm saying it correct.
Cerberus. Yeah.
Okay, like Serbia. Cerberus. Okay.
Yep. And so yes, this is the Cerberus Trooper. This is our our main good guy army builder. This is your kind of green shirt. It's that. So being an army builder myself as well, like I wanted to give as many kind of options with him as possible too. And so like he has the 2 different heads, so you have the different skin tones. Same with the hands. You could switch those out so he can be 2 different people there. But then also he has the helmet. He's got the bullet bandolier. He has the gas mask. And that is removable. It's not like a new head. It's actually a gas mask that goes over the balaclava. And then same with that. So that bandolier that comes off where the gas mask bag goes, it's like the same thing. So you just take that bullet bandolier off. You would put the gas mask bag on there. And then also the gas mask unplugs from that bag. So if you just want like a big pouch on your guy's chest, that's like another option. So like how I wanted to do this for people who army build, it's like you could have like so many different looks for this one figure if you just set them up like in an army, because that's one thing it's not like it's a Viper. They all kind of look the same. I want it to look a little different. It makes that army look a little more like they have their own little personal touches. And these guys are just that backbone of Cerberus. Usually the guy's probably getting blown up and killed by demons, but also trying to push the front lines. And he has a camo pattern on there that I took from the during, I think it's mostly like the 82nd Airborne, but a lot of soldiers actually hand painted camouflage on their uniform because camo still wasn't very prominent back then. And so I thought that was a really cool look. And it was a very subtle kind of camouflage pattern they would paint on their uniforms. And so that's kind of the look I went for with these guys.
Yeah. And like I said, he was one of the ones that I was definitely considering off the egg. Because sometimes I'm just, when it comes to military lines, and this is a great reference too, because you might have somebody who's not into the demons and goblins and things of that, but this is a character right here that you could, when you were talking about it, you could put in anybody's line. You could definitely insert that character into anybody's line, because sometimes I just like I'm not necessarily saying this is basic, but this is more towards your traditional, just plain army soldier. You know what I'm saying? No matter which way you can dress him up. And then also he still belongs to this world from as far as his accessories and what this world is based on, which is actually, war within itself, even with the other, spiritually, accents that goes along with it, man. But it's right in the pocket, basically what I'm saying. Like, there's some Joes in the GI Joe Classified line that are just, you could have handed this Joe to anybody. It doesn't have all the wild colors. It doesn't necessarily assign to a team like Tiger Force or something like that. He just pretty much has your basic military BDU on.
Yep. And that's what I wanted. Absolutely. That kind of character right there. And that's Cerberus Trooper right there.
Yeah. And once again, everybody's packed with plenty of accessories. And like you said, with that gas mask feature, removable helmet. A lot of times back in the day, you wouldn't get as many features with the smaller lines as you do now. So that's why you got to thank the modern action figure collecting world, because always pressing accessories, always pressing things that can move around, pieces that can move around, more detail, more more paint, more scope, man. So
absolutely.
And I like, okay, so is there a difference between the good guys and bad guys when you change up the color? I see he has a gray box here.
Yeah, so it varies. It's because again, with those VHS boxes, they would have different colored, packaging. Like it didn't matter what movie it was. You didn't know like
Mhm.
so. When you put them all next to each other, some will be black, some are green, some are red, some are white. It's kind of all over the place. Just to kind of make it fun. But like they have their logos on. I tried to make sure they had their logo for whatever team they were part of. So like
Oh,
Cerberus
man.
has the three-headed dog, and then like the Revenant there's this skull handprint thing, and then the Devil's Rejects have their Devil's Rejects logo. So there'll
Oh,
still be some uniformity. I mean, it won't line up because I didn't want anything to really line up on the spines when you put the movies together because
mhm.
they never did. And so just to add that kind of fun, grungy grindhouse feel to it. So
Yeah, and what gives it that feel the most is the cracked, like the cracked cases. Like you see on the corners, it seems like how the paper is wearing down.
yeah,
Like
folds
all up in
up
this
and
area right here, yeah, that definitely reminds me of like, and not even like the blockbuster. Like you have the people, like everybody's getting into the videotape business in the early '90s. So you have a mom and pop store.
yep,
A lot of their tapes would be looking like that.
yep.
Fun story. My brother, back in like '98, he had some videotapes like too long. So when he brought them back, the dude he started adding shit up, and he's like, "Yep, that'll be $300."
Oh
And
God.
my brother just laughed. I don't think that dude ever got that payment,
I
man.
don't think so. Some of those late fees were crazy,
Yeah,
like where they
like
came up with
300.
those numbers.
Yeah, yeah, and like, and you talking about, I'm from North Carolina in the late '90s. Shit, so, at some places that was some people's rent.
Yeah,
300.
absolutely.
So this is a throwback right here to my childhood, going to Family Dollar, going to little stores like that, and getting the green army men. But tell
Yeah.
me about this. Is this something you guys already did here, or?
No, no. So this is I wanted to do a colorway where it was just a Green Army Man. Just because I felt like, okay, this will be fun, do something with that. And I actually matched it to an actual green, like I matched the paint to a Green Army Man, with that same color. And so these guys will be all plastic. There won't be paint on these guys when they come out because it'll just be that same green plastic. But they're going to come,
Mhm.
instead of a VHS case, they're going to come in a plastic bag with the header, like the cardboard header, so that it's like a bag of Green Army Men. It won't be. This is just me how I laid it out for the pictures. But like when
Yeah.
it's actually packaged, it'll be just this big pile of parts, so it'll look like a thing of Green Army Men. Which will be pretty fun. And he comes with so much, as you could see. I tried to give him like everything that he could have that could be in that Green Army Man, kind of colorway. And so that like if somebody's going to army build these, like how I look at these aren't in the story. These aren't part of World War Hell. These are just like 1-to-1 scale. Like these guys are coming to attack you, kind of thing. Like they are like, it's that like cheesy horror movie where like the kid brings home the toys and they come alive to life and to life and try to kill you and take over the world, even though they're just tiny little soldiers. And I thought that would be pretty fun.
So basically but this is in the same size scope. This is still 4 inches.
Yeah, it's still the
Okay.
exact same, 3 3/4, O-ring figure, but just in that green. So he's definitely bigger than a Green Army Man, but just something a little fun. And then so like that pool, that figure stand right there, it's what I'm using for like the blood pool for a few of the figures. So it almost looks like a melted Green Army Man stand. So when you stand him up and pose him, he'll be able to look like you could kind of recreate some of those old Army Man poses.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's what I said, and that's the way they came. Probably to this day, I haven't seen none in a long time, but I haven't been really looking. But probably to
Yeah.
this day, that's probably the way they come, just in a
Yeah.
big plastic bag with that
Yep.
cardboard stapled top to close them up, hang it on a shelf at your local dollar bin type
Exactly.
store, man. And that's my child. That's late '80s right there, all
Yep.
day. Green Army
Same.
Man.
I played with so many of those little guys, set up all those little battles. It was so fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think that's where I got my playability to this day at, man. From the men, I used to draw these little pictures when I was in 8th grade, man. In 7th grade. No, it started when I was in 4th, 5th grade. And all these stick men to this big battleground. And they were all doing something. I'm talking about like hundreds. I mean, not hundreds, about 100 stick men, just all doing different activities, man. I think it came from just playing with those green army men. My friends, I did it all the way up until I was like in 8th grade, man. My friends used to laugh at it all the time. They still bring it up to me to this day, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was quite a thing to see, man, because they would be in it was just crazy. I can't even explain it, man.
That's fun.
And it spills over into my adult life now.
Yeah,
But what I noticed about this is we got 44 pieces for $30, man. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I wanted to give that, especially he doesn't come with the slipcase box like the tape. He doesn't have the high end packaging like the other figures. He doesn't have the paint applications like the others, since he's going to be the bare plastic. And so I wanted to kind of translate that savings over to the consumer, and everybody buying this stuff, because like I know my figures are pricier than say like some of these other ones that it's almost on the same scale as like a 6-inch figure, the prices. But that's why I tried to make sure it's like a premium product, and it's something that comes with a ton of accessories and tons of paint and great packaging. But like with these guys, yes, they have really fun packaging, but there's not as much into it. So I tried to make sure the cost was cheaper, and it went over to the people buying it.
Yeah, man. But like I said, I've been collecting back now maybe about 10 years. And I really just started going to the cons. I really just kind of started opening myself up to even knew there was community out there about 4 or 5 years ago. And what I've seen in the past 2 years with the 4-inch lines or 3 3/4-inch lines are that it's very niche, and that it has a very dedicated community.
Yeah.
As far as like the Delta 17s, the Robo Skulls, all the stuff, like they'll get more than $25-$30. It ranges, from what I've seen, it ranges between $25 to $40. But what that company gives their consumer will be more kinder, more care, more quality into a product to say with, rather than your Hasbro's, your Mattels, or even your big time third party companies, because you're dealing with such a concentrated camp that you guys got there, man, and people pay willingly, man, but you guys make it worth it though.
That's the biggest part, trying to make it worth it, and I hope that's the biggest thing, and people see that they want, being collectors are, like myself, like I know what's worth when I see something, I get something, I'm like, did I really have to pay this much for this? Like, oh man, like I want you to be blown away, like when you open something, you're like, oh man, I get all this for this much money.
Correct. So. And the same thing happens no matter what size or scale, because I'll be looking at things like, okay, you got a GI Joe Vamp that's $100, right? You get a car and a figure for $100, but then I've also paid $100 for a Mayfax. Sure. And I don't feel like I got cheated out of either one, because I got what I was looking for within that price range.
Yes.
What I was spending, no matter what the size was or how much came with each one. But I feel like that product was delivered to me on what I expected to be delivered. So
absolutely. I collect Mezco too, so I you spend, it's expensive, but you feel happy with what you get for what you pay for. So yeah.
All right, so we got the Decapitators.
Yes,
at $19. And is this another one with the plastic and the cardboard topping?
So this one will actually be in a cardboard box. So that whole top piece will be the actual box. So they're going to be mimicking like old school theater candy, like the theater box movie candy.
Okay.
Yeah. So instead of a box of Raisinets or Bunch of Crunch or something, you're getting nasty little head creatures, which I thought was kind of fun. And so these guys are. They're these creatures that they rip your own head off pretty much by implanting this kind of embryo into your chest cavity, and your head rips off and walks away, and so just nightmare fuel, just nasty stuff. And so they have 3 legs on each side, so a total of 6 legs. They're articulated on the legs, and then the skull part will be a ball joint will go on top of that, so it won't be like full on articulation, but you'll be able to move the head a little bit, so you'll be able to get some really cool poses, have these like swarm over different characters and stuff like that. When I have them at my booth, I usually have them attacking Duke from Super 7, which is pretty fun. And these are just that I wanted some sort of creature in there, and that's something I want to expand upon later. We'll have more candy boxes, more crazy creatures that are just nasty, and world building wise.
Yeah, that really made me jump back. You said they implant in your chest and then pop off with your head, half your head still on there. Okay.
It's kind of wears your head around. It's just nasty.
Hey, but what you said that really intrigued me was I might grab me a batch of those too. That I didn't know what they were. And from
Yeah.
the image that it shows it kind of shows that it's more like an arachna, right? With 6 legs.
Yeah.
Oh well, what's arachna? 8, well, pretty much like a spider.
Yeah. Like a
So
spider though. Yeah.
and you said so the legs will be able to articulate some.
Yeah, so they'll be like little ball joints where they attach at the body. So
Okay.
like the joints won't move, but like at the body where it meets, they will, they'll be able to move. So you'll be able to, because I want them to be able to close around a figure because they grab onto a
Nice.
figure, or like again, you can kind of just attach them all over the place. Because like even right now where they don't, because these are just 3D prints, that don't move right now just for paint and for the factory, like I just set those up and they look fun. You know what I mean? So like I can't wait till they actually the little legs move, because like you set up like a ton of those around a figure. It's gonna just be a really cool scene, and trying to like get them off of you. It's that kind of creature feature. That's why I called them that, like the nasty like monsters that are just like coming out of everywhere. So
Yeah, and like how you said, you got him attacking your Duke Super 7, which that's a bigger figure. But the cool thing about this is you can almost fudge these in, not almost, you can fudge these into
Sure.
1/12 scale because they're critical.
sure. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they can
yeah.
be different sizes. Either way, they're going to be smaller than your
Mhm.
average man. So
Yep.
nice. Yeah, I definitely might consider grabbing up some of those. Yeah.
Cool.
And now I guess we're going to stretch goals.
Yes.
Now, everything that we just went through, that's available if you wanted to get that on the Kickstarter.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all available right now. You can do any of the add-on packs, the all-ins. You could just do one figure, which is the feature presentation, and then it'll be any of those figures.
Nice. I'll do a quick rundown on that at the end, because I'll switch over to the tab where it talks about this is different package outlets. So one stretch goal unlocked as of right now is Captain Winchester, unlocked at
Yes.
84.5. And you mind just giving me a quick
Sure.
lowdown on Cap here?
Yeah, so so if Graves is kind of the Duke character, Winchester would be the Hawk. He's the leader of the Cerberus Troopers, like the ground forces, and so he's just that pissed off. Got the cigar hanging out of his mouth. Old soldier. He was a World War I veteran. He's just been fighting war his whole life, kind of thing, and now he's having to deal with this crap now too, and so he's just kind of pissed off. He's that guy who's sitting there using the flamethrower to light his cigar. Just that tough. He's got a nasty scar on his face, and he comes with the 2 heads. So if you don't want the cigar, portrait, you could do the other head on there, and switch it out. And again, tons of accessories. He's got a really cool camo pattern that we put on there, and he'll also have the patch on his sleeve, the Cerberus logo on his arm. I love the like tampos and stuff like that. So
nice. I just started messing around with tampos myself, and on a novice thing. But I did some customizing, man. Did some pretty cool stuff, man. Like
nice.
I'm a baby to customizing right now, but that's been the joy in my collecting. I still like to get new figures. But I like to actually build, world build and customize, and just kind of work on my inner collection, because if you keep getting figures, eventually you got to get rid of some.
Yep, and it's fun to make it your own. Like put your
Correct.
touch on there. Yeah.
All right, so Captain Winchester, which is another great look, because I love his camo too. That looks really good.
Thanks. It took a little while to paint, but I'm happy with how it came out.
You know who has some great camo? Is another Kickstarter that's going on right now. Is Patriot Force.
Yeah. Their camo looked great because they were doing that real world stuff, and I got to talk to them at Joe Fest, and like doing the Tiger. I think they did some Tiger Force, but I know they did a lot of multicam. They did like the Marine Marpat. It was really good work.
Yeah, it's some of the best, and of course those are hand painted for the time, so they could show off their product. But some of the best camo I've ever seen, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
and looking at him
absolutely.
reminded me of that. Now, when I just looked, I was like, damn, that camo looks awesome.
Awesome.
And we got the big baddie here, right? This is Colonel Malum.
Malum,
Okay.
yeah. Yep. He is the guy who starts all of this. He's the one who makes a deal with with hell pretty much, and sells all the souls to the Axis powers. Of the Axis powers, makes his own undead army, like, backstabs pretty much all of the higher ups in the Axis and German army and stuff like that, and he takes everything for his own gain, and wants to open up all these 9 circles of hell, and really just engulf the entire world in fire. And he's just a terrible person. He cut his own face off to summon the Harbinger of Doom, which is a really nasty demon who actually looks like Steamboat Willie. I don't know if you saw him at Joe Fest. I don't have him right now showing in the Kickstarter, but he's the who summons all of this nasty business. And he comes with the Book of the Dead. He also has like these 2 ballistic shield face masks that actually have skin stapled to it, or nailed to like skin faces. He cuts other people's faces off also. Just nasty individual. He's got blood all over him. He also has the hooded head too, and then a wired soft goods cape, and just a despicable character.
Man, I'm just going to say, man, this motherfucker right here is fire. When I started looking at him and shit, man, I was like, yo, is his face cut off? Because that's like a creepy thing. Like, if you've seen that in real life, somebody with their face detached. And then I was looking at it like over to the right. He looks like Leatherface, but you added a cool aspect. It's actually if somebody's face cut off, put over a mask.
Like just having it on that metal, like kind of, that I always thought those ballistic face shields look cool. It's just like a big, circle, almost like a Jason mask to an extent, but it doesn't have like, the hockey feel to it. But I thought like having that mask on there would just be, or the skin just put it on there, and then it opens up opportunities for later too, where he can have different face masks, and he's just a crazy guy.
Yeah, that's dope. And with the wired cape, and see, that's what I'm talking about, the putting in the quality and time, because everybody, I don't care what scale of action figure that you deal with, is looking for a wired cape, man, with soft goods.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
The days of the plastic cape, man, really should have been left back in the 90s.
Yes.
Or not even made it past 2010. Okay, because when I came back into action figure collecting in 2015, I was cool with the plastic cape, but by 2017, I was like, man, I'm tired of these shit.
Yes,
I like this is not doing me any good right here. You like Hasbro has a decent Thor, but his cape is just like,
it's not a statue. They're action figures. They got to pose, and so like if you have this big hunk of plastic limiting you, it sucks. And so I am a huge fan of soft goods with wires in them, and that's the other thing. I don't want just soft goods just kind of flopping there either. Like I need a wire in there. You need to have that wind hitting it and kind of get that dynamic posing.
Correct. Like that bothers me more too. Soft goods with no wiring. It's just like a shawl and shit. It's just like hanging off the shoulders, and like, nah, man, that ain't doing it either. I think Hasbro did that a few times. They did it. That's about the only figure that I wouldn't complain with it. I wish he did have a wire, but Hasbro released that Odin last year, Thor's father.
Oh, I wanted to get Odin. I never picked him up. I was waiting for hopefully to get him cheaper, and I think I might have missed that opportunity. So he did have a soft goods cape.
Yes, but it didn't have a wire. But they did. I would tell you like this: it feels like silk underwear.
Oh, okay, so they
what I'm saying? Like
that's cool.
It's not cheap or anything like that. It's actually a fantastic feeling cape, one of the best I ever felt. But it doesn't have wire in it. But that's the only way it kind of gets a pass. Because with him, I mean, you'll have a little dynamic posing with it, but for the most part, it's gonna hang, in that manner, because more than likely he's gonna be ruling. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Running around. But yeah, man. So that's an awesome looking figure. Let me see if he's the last one, correct?
There's one more now. The Revenant Horde Trooper. Yeah.
Yes. This I like this one right here, and I seen him at Joe Fest as well. But you know what? When you said Steamboat Willie, I'm like, who's he talking about? The Mickey Mouse guy.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, I seen that. That's a dope one too. You got a sweet little line, man.
Thank
Be
you.
honest
Thank you.
with you, bro. Like this shit is tight, man. Like I said, like at the end, I'll show my Joe Fest clip. It
Awesome.
speaks more volume when you see it in person. But if you want
Yes.
to tell me about Mr. Horde here.
Yeah, so the Revenant is the, like that army I was telling you about with Colonel Malum, that he has, this is his private army. This is the Axis powers that have been possessed and just terrible, again, demonic creatures that have now taken over these bodies. And so what the horde is the horrid occult of ravenous demonic entities. Kind of harken back to those old GI Joe days when you have this ridiculous name, that the acronyms and stuff like that. So and so these guys will have the zombie head, the skeleton head. Also, that helmet is removable. The face shield is removable, so you can just do the helmet if you want, or the combination. He comes with a Panzerschreck, that rocket launcher, which has blast effects. It's got the front firing part and then the back blast also. He's got the stick grenades. He's got the rockets, and so these guys are really fun too. And I wanted to have that kind of personal touch to Malum's forces. Like, sure, the corpses are bad guys as well that are just attacking everybody, but like these are like the stormtrooper, evil stormtrooper type characters, and they're going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, then he was another one I was considering. I was like, well, man, he's not unlocked yet, and that's the whole thing here today. Maybe it will get there, maybe not, but it'll be a crying shame if it doesn't. Because to be honest with you, this whole line here needs to be unlocked, and unleashed onto society.
Unleashed. I
guess
like it.
that's a perfect word for hell coming unleashed to society, man. Let me ask you this: so, if this Kickstarter gets going, do you plan on possibly doing as your partners there, your brothers in arms there, as far as Monster Force and Big Bad Toy Workshop, actually like, okay, now we're going to produce a series of lines that come at this and do a whole, shebang with this thing?
Oh, I plan on definitely doing like World War Hell is going to continue. Like, now that it's funded, like I have plans for, like, I got 20 plus characters already, like not fully
Nice.
drawn design, but designed and come up with for future waves. So like this is not going to be something that's like a one and done. And so like World War Hell is definitely gonna go all out, because that's what I want to do. I want to do vehicles. I want to do all kinds of stuff and really do that world building. That's another reason to go the 3 3/4 route. Like, I love that they're doing these 1/12 vehicles, but man, they take up so much space. And so I wanted to kind of be like, what, O-ring is going to be fun. If it's in the VHS cases, we could do vehicles later, where it doesn't take up a huge amount of space and do some really cool stuff with it. And, but even still, 1/12 is still not off the table. Like, I would love to do, like, even if it's just like one or two here and there, you do like a Sergeant Specter or a Corpse, or, something like that, that could be in, in the 6-inch scale. That's something we're looking into for later. But like, I want to just make sure this kind of goes, but this is going to be our main focus, is on this.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that you say that, that would be awesome, because I don't knock you. Like, I mean, 1/12 scale is not for everybody, and that was the whole purpose of this too. Because I know a lot of people that watch my channel, they're also into 4-inch. Chris definitely being one of them. He's put me on to stuff like I didn't even know about. I'm like, oh damn, for real. What I'm saying? But when I see the figures that he's going after, and the figures that he's getting, it's tight stuff. So to have that whole, I don't know, man. I might have to jump. I might have to jump in on this one. like, what I'm saying. Get the Kickstarter, man. And as your world goes on, man, just kind of, all right. What I'm saying. I'm gonna mess with my man, because I was already feeling the figures. Be quite honest with you, man. And you saying vehicles and all that, like, and that's what you basically, where I'm running out of space trying to deal with 1/12 scale. I'm not gonna get that Snowcat. I think it's great. I think it's awesome, but it's just not for me. And now just thinking of everything that's coming, everything I got, I'm possibly sitting. There's like this 15 1/12 scale vehicles under this table right now, man.
Oh man.
So there's no room really for nothing else, and not including the ones that scattered and the ones I got coming. I still have 5 that's probably coming through the door in the next couple of months, man. So the go sticking to that route, I think, is awesome, man. But what I was gonna say is to do like a one-off, maybe as the line gets going, like a Joe Fest exclusive, Mr. Captain Specter, 1/12 scale. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Or
see what you're saying.
just
Yeah,
for your
like do a
exclusives and stuff.
collaboration kind of
Yeah,
thing, and that I do like working with those guys. So it could definitely be something that could be in the future. Just have to see as long as like all the things work out and stuff. But like I'm definitely open to it.
yeah, man. So nah, man, great line, man. I'm gonna go back up here. Articulation. I was wanting to go over that, and I'll just read through this. It says articulation breakdown. Like this is not your 1980s O-ring right here. This is this is a little something
Hmm.
different. Ball jointed head, articulated jaw on zombie and skeleton figures, which I think is dope on such a small of a figure. Ball jointed neck, shoulder rotation and hinge, bicep swivel, elbow hinge, wrist hinge and swivel. O-ring connects torso to pelvis to legs with metal T-bar, knee hinge, ankle rockers, and hinge. That's also something I noticed when I read it earlier. I was like, holy shit, ankle rockers on a 3 3/4. Nice. Yeah,
Absolutely, got to
nice.
do it different because then look, you can get these poses with that.
Yeah,
Like no O-ring figure can do that, like except for
correct.
these.
I seen that too. And is that one of the hands that comes in his
Yeah.
packet?
Yeah.
Nice, nice,
So like,
nice,
you gotta
nice.
have, I think that's just funny, like even if you just had like one set up, like it makes me laugh. I think people will hopefully do stuff like that, and they just got this little
Yeah.
guy over here, giving everybody the middle finger.
Oh yeah, man. The more options, the better, man. Like I said, I didn't even see that earlier, and also I was gonna ask you, did that hand come in there? That's dope.
Yeah.
So pretty
And
much,
here's some comparisons, to other O-ring figures, just so you can see the height difference and like the scale and all that stuff.
look how much like attention to detail and sculpt you got. This dude has like a full on six pack.
Yeah, yeah.
That
James
shit's
Carter
crazy.
is sculpted 90% of the line, and he was the sculpt supervisor for Hasbro on like Star Wars Vintage and like Ghostbusters and a bunch of stuff. And he's just super talented, and so we really tried to push the limits on the articulation, or I mean the sculpt work and articulation, but on this scale, just to give it something a little different, make it stand out from the other ones. I love like these are all my personal figures that I have them standing next to, so I love these other figures, but I just wanted to do something that was kind of made us stand apart.
Oh yeah, and that's why I say it's just the scope and detail, man. It's just really like this. This looks more like to the right is more your older GI Joe style, which
Yep.
is a very sculpted figure, but it definitely doesn't compare to the left. That's on some 112 shit.
Yeah.
Like and you're really getting the most out of your mold there.
Yes.
And this is the packaging that I
Yes.
was telling everybody about, that's from something different you guys did, correct?
Yeah, that was my second figure I made, Necromancer. He's sold out now. And yeah, so that slipcase comes off of the other cardboard box, which looks like an actual VHS tape, and then you see the figure in the window where like the tape spool would be. Like you see the figure up there in the top. So it's just really fun. People really it makes them smile when they open this packaging, checking it out. And so like to be like, oh, it's just like an old VHS tape. And not many people really mess around with VH tapes anymore. So it brings them back to that time.
Oh
But
yeah.
also being a figure collector, they're just like, oh, this is fun. And so it just kind of marries all those worlds together. So
Yeah, and that's what I say, man. It's about nostalgia. I have a fun VHS story right quick before we go for the
yeah.
rundown. I grew up in construction, working concrete, and I was still working for my dad about 3 or 4 years ago. And we had a job where we weren't doing concrete that day. We had to do some demo. We had to tear a trailer down. So I take the Bobcat, run right through the trailer, poof, just fucking smash this thing. I mean, we flattened this thing like in about an hour or two, and then in midst of all of that rubble and carnage, there was a Batman 89 VHS tape just laying, just shining, untouched,
Oh,
weathered
man.
and beaten, just like this box looks here. And I just
Yeah.
jumped off the Bobcat, man, and picked it up. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh man, I'm gonna take this and sell this and make some money. It was like, holy shit, this is Batman 89 VHS tape here. This is gold in my head. You know what I'm saying? And it's,
Yeah.
it's in my garage to this day. And I also found
Oh,
a
that's cool.
original Sega box too that was
Oh,
untouched.
nice. That's
Yeah, it was
cool.
like it had Sonic on the back and all that shit, man. It
Yeah.
was crazy. Yo.
That stuff brings you back, man. I have
Yeah.
that. I have that Batman. I play it here, because I got my little TV back here that actually can play them still. So
Oh,
I
nice.
have that stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, so just you went the right way with these VHS cassettes, man. That's cool, and like that's kind of like a picture of like them lined up. That barcode reminds me of all the returned videos at Blockbuster. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like they be lined up at the counter when you come in from people who returned them, man. It's just
Yeah. Kind of look to see if the one you wanted was there.
correct. And bro, you like Sergeant Specter, yeah. Sergeant Specter will be a straight rock star in the 112 scale. I
Oh,
think
I'd love to. Yeah, he'd
I
be
think he'd
super
be
cool.
dope. And to be honest with you, I didn't get the Monster Force, the Joe Fest one from last year, because they just didn't appeal to me. But I do love figures that are made like that, like the Valaverse Swarm, or you might have your Fantastic Four Johnny Blaze, like
Yeah.
Johnny Storm. Like they come in
Yep.
that clear kind of almost plastic. So it has to be the right figure, and I
It
think
does.
I think he would be dope, because I'm not gonna get everything. I didn't get the one this year they got. It was a great figure though. I played with it.
Oh, the Invisible Man one.
Yes.
Mhm.
Which in all sense it would make sense to grab that one, because shit, he's the Invisible Man.
Sure.
But it was a great figure. But this one right here, yeah, I'd definitely be down to take on that.
Awesome.
So yeah, man. Let me go up here to the top and let me
Okay.
see. Like I'm gonna go to back this project, and we'll go through the different things right quick, man, and then
Sounds good.
we'll do a quick little rundown, man. I know you're a very busy man right now.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so pledge $19. It says creature feature one box of Decapitator. So if you pledge this, you pay $19 now, or when the campaign is, which is going to be funded on Sunday night.
Yeah, it takes Sunday night is when they take your money. So
Mhm.
everything can be backed at any time, and then yes, they take the money as soon as it finishes. So yeah,
Do they charge shipping? I see zero shipping, or do they
Yeah, so
charge
shipping's
later
going to be
on?
later, because
Okay.
it's so volatile with all that right now. So in
Okay.
Backer Kit, what will happen is like everything will go over to this other website called Backer Kit. They that goes hand in hand a lot of times with Kickstarter, and so that's how they get all your shipping information. They get all that stuff, and so I'll try to make sure everything is perfect for everybody, and really just catered to, because I'm not sure, like, okay, instead of me trying to guess what everybody's shipping is going to be, like, okay, well, I got a box of Decapitators, I got this figure, I got that, just kind of get everything as cheap as possible for everybody. So
Nice. And so that's the one box to cap. You get 4 of them in there.
yep.
Green Army Men to Hell, the nostalgia of the Green Army Man. So that is a $30 backer with me, $30, which
Yep.
we talked about earlier. You get 44 pieces in that, which is amazing. This is a throwback to the Green Army Man. If some people are just coming in watching this, and if you're just coming in watching this, go back to the beginning, check all this out. This is a great guest. This is a man you want to be in company with. Man, I want to be in company with later on. He's tied to a lot of nice plugs. But Green Army Man for 30.
Yep.
And then we got the feature presentation. Now, this was what I was trying to figure out. One action figure for $38. So once you pledge that, you get to pick from the different
Yes.
ones that are available now.
Yep. So like you don't pick right now. Once it goes to Backer Kit, it's like, hey, what's your figure? Which one did you want? Kind of thing. And then whatever is unlocked, it'll give you that option. You just pick that. You put your shipping information in, and you lock in your whole kind of survey and your Backer Kit survey and all that stuff, and then you're all set to go. So that's just that way. Instead of doing it where you had like all the different options, it worked better for like these army builder packs where you had 4 or 6 or any of that, and it's just, especially if stuff's not unlocked yet. So like you just pick that at the very end. So it's like you put the money up front just so you're like, all right, I'll pick it when it's over with.
So Sunday night when it's over with, that's when you'll get the questionnaires.
It'll be a little bit later than that. It'll be, I think,
Okay.
a week or 2 after that, something like that. I got to see how long it takes, but it's usually somewhere like that, because it's just got to take all that information and then throw it over to Backer Kit so everybody can choose.
And would they be contacting you via email?
Yep. So it'll contact you. It's real easy to do. I've done it multiple times with other Kickstarters, because this is my first like running Kickstarter. But like when I've done it for like the Marauder Task Force, when they would do a Kickstarter, like you don't really pick which figures at all. You just are like, I want this one, and it's like 24 figures, and then you just go and you pick every figure you want at the end. So
nice. So that basically, and you're helping me clear because I've never backed a Kickstarter before, so I was just curious about how that process goes. So in between 1 and 4, like say if I wanted 2 to 3, I would just do the pledge, one action figure 3 times.
Well, so like this is your main reward. So like it would be a little different than that because like your main reward you pick. So like say you wanted 3 figures, you would pick that feature presentation of 1 figure, and then there's add-ons also. And then you can pick a few figures that way if you want to, because it's a little confusing. But like you pick the one here, and then because you can only pick 1 tier out of this, like your reward tier, you can only pick one. But you can also add stuff in the next kind of window. It's like the add-ons they call it. And so like say you pick that one action figure, you're like, I want that. Okay, well then you move over to this, and it's like, well, do you want to add anything on? And you can add 4 figures, you can add 6 figures, you can still add stuff to it, or you can be like, I want Sergeant Specter, I want the Cerberus Trooper, and you can just add those on at the $38 that way too. So it's a little confusing on that kind of way, but that would be the way to do it.
And when with the add-on, that happens after it gets backed, and then they actually, hey, do you want to add on some more?
You can do that too. Yeah, you can add on more later, but like right now, like while you're like pledging, you can actually go and add stuff right then and there.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. And if you're gonna get 2 or 3, you might as well get 4. And so if you're gonna get, they have the 4 action figure package right here, which I see a lot of people have got 76 backers on that.
Yep.
I'm like, hey, I just want this guy. I might get this guy too. Then I'm thinking about the little critters. That's already 3, and then I'm the type of person like, well, shit, I already bought 3. I might as well buy 4. and that's how that ends up starting. So that's pretty much self-explanatory there. You get your 139. You get your 4 action figures, which it's not hard to choose 4 action figures in this lineup here. Same thing with 6. $200 for that. 32
and the prices are a little cheaper too as you go up to those higher tiers. The prices just definitely go down, and I tried to give that best deal possible for everybody, so like, yeah, if somebody was like, hey, I want to get 24 figures, which that's a tier, they're getting the craziest kind of prices on there. So
I've seen some 24s up here too. So
yeah.
Blockbuster experience pledge 289 all in 2. So 69 backers. So what dreams are made of all in one includes 1 corpse, 1 Sergeant Graves, 1 Sergeant Specter, 1 Cerberus Trooper, 1 Green Army Men from Hell, 1 pack of Decapitators, and 1 each unlocked stretch goal. Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be the best one. And if we don't unlock all the stretch goals, I wanted to make sure that it's the best value. So it'll have it where it's like a similar price point as Bring Home the Carnage. So like, I think right now it's about 8 figures he would get. So like if it doesn't hit the 8 figures, you could just pick another corpse or a Cerberus Trooper as well. I want to make sure people have that value,
Nice. Bring Home the Carnage. Yeah, 12 figures for 360, which is pretty much, is that the whole line? Individual characters.
A few army builders in there too, still, because it's less than 12. But yeah, just it's mostly for people wanting to really build it up. Same with like the Be Kind Rewind right there is the double all in, so that's just 2 of everything that has been unlocked.
Nice. And looks like we got 21 backers for that. Like I said, it speaks volumes. Then we got the Horror with the 666 with 6 backers.
Yep, this is even funnier.
Nice. So a whole 24 action figures, the kit and caboodle there.
Yep. And then the other ones are gone now that we hit. There was a regular all in, which was just $10 cheaper than the one that we have now. That's why that was number 1, and then number 2, and then the Hellfire Club VIP experience was $1,000, but that came with an all in plus 1 of every figure unlocked as test shots. So 5 people backed that, which was very cool to see people jump in on that. But they'll get some really cool prototypes out of it. So.
Well, it'd only be a crying shame not to unlock the Cobra Commander of this whole thing. Was it Colonel Malum?
Colonel Malum.
And the Horde. Was that the last one? Yes, because those 2 are definitely standouts, and just going through the story of the Malum and just looking at him, man, was definitely a dope figure, man. But folks, I'm gonna give you a rundown. We'll basically take a look at my Joe Fest video so you can see these things live and in person. This is on Kickstarter. It's going to end at 10/10 Sunday night. So we got a little bit less than like maybe 60 hours left to back this. I think this is a great project. I thought this was a great project when I didn't know anything about it, to be quite honest with you, because I was just there. I was like, oh, cool figures. Let me shoot. My man Chris was there talking to him, man, and kind of hooked us two together, man. But it was definitely an honor to interview Chris here from Grindhouse Toys. And be honest with you, his work is imprinted in the game, man. And even for a short time, man, just quality work dealing with Monster Force, dealing with the Robo Skull and all different lines that he's done, man. So he's definitely in the company of some great creators. I'm gonna pull this down. I'm gonna go to stop sharing. But yes, like I said, hit the Kickstarter here, kickstarter.com, Grindhouse Toys. I got the ticker at the bottom, grindhousetoys.com. World War Hell.
Yes.
Is the name of the line. Great line. And we'll do one more present here. I'll let you guys see these things live here from Joe Fest. So just kick back for about 1 minute. I think that's how long the video is.
So all you get unlocked, you're still going to get 4 more just to make sure that you just pick run out of room. So, but like you got it where you're just like, hey, I want this army builder pack. That's the way to do it. But if you want to get like more stretch goals, it's always that kind of gamble. But I'm going to make thank you. So you got the 666, which is a very fun one. I had to put that in there.
Yeah. So this is the first unlock, right?
Yep.
And then the troop builder is the second unlock.
Yep.
And then hopefully we'll get to this guy.
This guy and then this guy. But we're on really good track for all of that stuff right now. So how everything's tracking. The fact that we should fund very soon.
What was the guy's name that did this again? It was HVX?
Yes.
All right. So that's what I was saying.
Jimmy.
Thank you. Ishkan. Did you see the castle he had? That was modular.
Yeah.
I bought that.
Oh, so you're the one. He's the one he showed it to me, but you'd already bought it, and he was telling me about it, showing me pictures, and that's before I was like, "You want to build something for World War Hell?" He's like, "Yes."
That was an incredible piece, and I thought he was very reasonable.
Very reasonable
compared to what some other people charge.
Yes.
I mean, there was this guy here a couple years ago. You wouldn't believe what he charged me for a head, man.
Really? I can't trust him.
I'm playing, man. That was.
All right. Let me pull this down. But yeah, so that was a conversation that I caught, man. It's actually on my my Joe Fest video where I just did nothing but the toys. And cool. Jesus Christ, I have held you up for 1 hour and 20 minutes.
It's all good.
I said I'm gonna keep this down to 30, 45 minutes. I'll be lying like shit. Like every time.
I knew it wouldn't happen just because I know I talk too much. So
no, man. To be honest with you, man, we got straight to the point here on what we wanted to do, man. But when you're talking about toys and you're truly passionate about toys, man, it could go on for hours. I do the same thing with the guy you was just talking with, Chris. Man, I go to the parking lot, meet up with him, maybe to swap some figs or do whatever, man. And we end up, I'd be like, hey man, I gotta get in and out here, and I'm there 45 minutes in the local grocery store parking lot. Just talking about toys, man. But brother, I hope all the information that needed to get out there is out there. It's already out there. Shit, this thing is pretty much funded, but we still need to get some stretch goals. Personally, I think this line is definitely going to succeed. I think you got the passion. I think you got the talent, man. Like I said, all this stuff looked good before I even really knew what it was about or knew what it was. So, hey, man, hats off to you, brother. And I wish you plenty more success. And I'm gonna jump in. I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, but I'm gonna jump in on one of these Kickstarter figures, man. And
I appreciate that.
When it comes in, man, show it off a little bit.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Anything you want to say before we tap out of here?
Just we're almost there. Let's get Malum. Let's get these horde troopers back to Kickstarter if you guys can, and just follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Grindhouse Toys. I just keep sharing everything, and thank you so much to everybody who has supported me in this. It's crazy, and I appreciate everything.
And there you have it. Once again, I want to thank my man Chris here from GRINDHOUSE Toys and that new line, World War Hell. It should be, once it gets back, it should, I think it said November.
Yeah, so like I have it November 2026, so but it's going to be sooner than that. That's me just pushing it a little farther. Just I would rather over deliver than under, deliver. So I want to make sure it's out there a little farther. Everything's ready to go. It's just got a tool. We just got to get everything molded and ready to go at the factory, but we're ready to go. So
well, you guys heard them. Look out for that new line, World War Hell, coming to you in November or maybe sooner. And you know how we do on this show. And with that being said,
go on, get out of here. Who needs ya?